This is Mark Anthony with Mercury Time Price Analytics, and welcome to our futures trading update. Sunday, April 12th. It's currently about 7:20 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. Very interesting what's happening tonight. We had the Globex futures open. They traded immediately up into this Algo time price regression line and absolutely got hammered. The time cycles that we use are literally the exact same time cycles that are used by the trading algorithms that the institutions use. There's about 7 or 8 key time cycles. We tap into all of them. But this particular methodology with these regression lines, this is a proprietary formula that we have. And what's interesting about these regression lines is that ES gets magnetized back and forth to them constantly. Now you're looking at the live chart now. This is trading for this evening. S&P futures went up here to the upper regression line, got hammered 100 handles down in the first 15 minutes of trading. If you go to our website, if you haven't been there before, it's mercurysignals.com. And on our website, if you go to the top menu, just click on market reports and you'll get not only the current market report that was published yesterday, April 11th, but you'll see the archive with all the previous ones as well. And we have been talking about a sharp decline, a bear market, all the way back in the beginning of January. And it's played out. If you look at these reports week after week, this is played out exactly the way our proprietary algos said it would. Back on the report on January 25th, I wrote that an important technical breakdown occurred on January 22nd, and it's played out the way we wrote it up since that time. Now, in this week's article, I talked about the fact that April 12th, today, is a cycle turn date. Short-term cycles, we look at a number of cycles, but in this particular case, we're talking about 20-day, 30-day, 40-day cycles. The confluence that we had at Thursday's close in time and price was astounding. And I'm going to come back to this in just a minute, but I just want to show you these regression lines on a little bit wider scale. So you can see this is the live chart right now. And you can see here, this is before, this was a screenshot taken the end of the day Thursday. You can see how many times it goes into these regression lines. Now, when it trades through them, it releases higher. But it just goes right up to the next regression line. And then you come back down, you test again, it breaks through and releases. Now, what's important right now is that at the end of the day, Thursday, April 9th, you had this confluence of these two regression lines above 2,800 and just below 2,800. And you can see how well prices respected these levels. And you can see what happened this evening as price went up into it, just absolutely monkey hammered it down 100 handles. Now, if we take a look at this shot here and we pull this back a little bit further, what's really interesting is that you had a convergence of regression lines at 2,600, a little bit below 2,600, as a matter of fact. And that was resistance. Well, when broken, resistance turned to support. You've got another regression line, this red line here. But when this convergence of regression lines below 2,600 broke, that gave you this strong move higher. And it pulled back from the regression line here and here, came back down, and you can see how beautifully it trades off of these. Now, the other part of this symmetry is this. The March 3rd high was, I believe, 3136. Let me just take a look at the article. 3136 was the high on March 3rd. Now, that was an overshoot. Our daily algo bull bear pivot on March 3rd was 3085. So taking that number, because that was the algo time price pivot that day, from 3085 down to the April 3rd swing low, 30 days later, it came down to 2449. That's a measured move of 636 handles. And again, we're not taking that off the March high. at 31.36, but from the daily Algo bull bear pivot that day, which was 30.85. So 30.85 down to 24.49. That gives you 636 handles in price. What's important to note here is the 30-day cycle, March 3rd to April 3rd. Now, from the March 22nd low of 21.74, a measured move of 636 handles gives you 28.10. Well, what was the high on Friday? 28.0950. 2 ticks away from the full measured move of 636 handles. Now, for further evidence from this week's report, the 20-day cycle starting on March 22nd, that also culminates on April 9th. The April 9th high, as you just saw, was 28.0950, 2 ticks from the 636 handle target at 28.10. Now, you throw in on top of that the 40-day cycle from the very important high that we had on March 3rd, that culminates today, Sunday, the 12th. So you've got all of these time cycles, and when I do this cycle work, it's plus or minus a day. So you have all these cycles that have converged in time on Thursday the 9th and on today, Sunday the 12th. You also had this measured move of 636 handles off the March 22nd low that gets you 28.10. So everything about the high that we saw on Thursday, it's absolutely perfect in terms of time and price and of the cycles, and that is precisely what gets you a move up into 28.20 that hits this regression line and then rejects 100 handles. When you get that kind of confluence between time and price, that's what we get. Now, I'm not going to do it on this video, but if you go back in your charts and look at March 9th to 11th, you had a very important level that broke down, and that's shown on this chart here. On March 9th to March 11th, you had a very tiny zone that really was the pivotal area, and it was bounded on the top at 27.93 and at the bottom of that zone at 27.78. So, I mean, you're only talking 15 handles. And this chart was sent out to our subscribers Sunday afternoon, noting that if 27.78 broke, we were going to get a fast move. Well, we got more than a fast move. You got 100 handles down off the high, and from 27.78, the level that broke, that flips this whole structure upside down, you have 27.17. So 60 handles off that 27.78 area that broke. That triggered our automated algo short, but you can see what was happening right here. So if you go to our website and take a look at the weekly market reports, it's all there. We published this last night. We sent this chart out to subscribers today. There is no system available for consumers that is this accurate. We're running a special right now. If you go to the website, click on subscriptions, you'll see what it is. We used to have 2 different trading services, one for ES and NQ, and then a separate service for bonds and crude oil. What I decided to do a little over a month ago is keep the pricing at what we were charging for just the ES NQ service alone. And now what we're doing is we're giving the bonds and the crude oil away for free. So they were both separately priced. Now you're getting the bonds and the crude oil for free because all we're charging is what we used to charge for the ES and NQ. Now, even if you don't trade bonds and crude oil, the reason we decided to make that available to our subscribers is if you're trading ES or NQ, you have to keep your eye on what's going on in bonds and crude oil. You don't necessarily have to be a bond or a crude oil trader, but you need to know every day what bonds and crude oil are doing. And so that's why for what we've always charged for the ESNQ service, you now get the bonds for free. So if you don't trade bonds and crude, we're not charging you for something you don't use. We're giving that away for free at the same price that we used to charge just for ES and NQ. Now, this is going to be a very, very important week. You've got all these cycles coming in. The existential event here that we have to keep an eye on is if the coronavirus quarantine, so to speak, if that is removed, you're naturally going to get an absolutely blistering move high. So you have to trail stops if you're short. But everything is rolled over this evening. If we go over here to our 3 panel, you have our automated algo triggered short this evening on the 4-minute chart. It triggered on our day trading chart, which is a longer cycle than 4 minutes. And it's about to trigger short on our swing trading chart. Now, our swing trading algo got long right about 26.53. So you got a massive move off that into Thursday's high. But all 3 of these, our day trade algo triggered short this evening. Our fast cycle, you can day trade just off this 4-minute, but all of the algos are triggered. And you're right now getting a short entry on our swing trading algo. And typically when that triggers, you'll get usually at least a good 100 handle move out of it. Everything that we do is shown to our subscribers on a live chart feed on Zoom. So all you need is a free Zoom account. You log in with your email. Every day we give you a new password, and you'll see these charts that I'm showing you right now that are moving in real time since Globex has started about an hour and a half ago. But you'll see these charts along with much, much more. We've got a Slack channel where all the trade entries are posted, as well as where we suggest moving the stops to. Now, you know the caveat: past performance is not indicative of future results. Futures trading does carry extraordinary risk, so you have to be trading with an adequately funded account, and you always limit your trades to a small portion of your account. You don't trade futures and use 100% margin all the time. Professional traders never use more than a very small portion of their available margin on any given trade. So one of the things that we teach you is how to manage risk. So that's going to be a wrap for tonight. Please check out our website, mercurysignals.com. You'll see not only the report that I talked about, but you'll see all the other reports. Just click on the Market Reports tab. And just take some time and go back to these reports all the way back in January. We talked about a change of character in the market, and the metaphor we used is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I mentioned the January 25th report, all about the math. This talks about all the things that we saw that broke on a technical basis on January 22nd. And 90% of the trades that we've taken since that time have been short trades. We get into the shorts, we take profits, you let the market come back, and we've continually done that. And so all of those are listed on the website. Here's a report from April 9th, calm before the storm. So all of this that you're seeing now in the markets, all of this was documented going back to early January. So that's going to be a wrap for tonight. We thank you so much for taking the time to view this evening's video. For more information, please check out mercurysignals.com. Most importantly, we hope you and your family are well and healthy. And most of all, God bless you. God bless your family. And we hope to see you again soon.